back again with another review, and today we're going to talk about Rocky 2. Now, the story with this, so after going the distance with the champ Apollo Creed, Rocky, he wants to move on from the fight, and he wants to settle down, with Adrian, have a life outside of the ring. Meanwhile, Creed is seeking a rematch to restore his reputation, and that's the plot here to Rocky 2. Now, for me, Rocky 2 is a great sequel that, for me, surpasses the first movie. And I wanted to see what you guys thought of this. So I put up a poll in the community post, which do you prefer more, Rocky or Rocky 2? And 18 people voted Rocky, got 56%, and Rocky 2 got 44%, which is interesting. It's kind of almost neck and neck a little bit. But, for me, I have to go with the Rocky 2 because I think there's more going on with the story here. And getting to one of the comments from Neo Punk, he says, I have to go with Rocky 2. It's more entertaining and I get more invested in the story. Also more engaging, and I felt the drama was done better too. Good point from Neo Punk. I think, I agree with that statement that I think there's more going on here, like more going on with the story, kind of a little bit more meat to the bone here. The cast here, going right into the cast of the film, Stallone does a great job once again. Why is her name leaving me all of a sudden? I swear, this is getting, I don't know if it's just age, I'm just forgetting names. Tally Shire. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Lately, names will leave me like that. I need to lay off the caffeine. I think that's what it is. Tally Shire does a great job in the film. Again, you also have, Burgess Meredith in the film. You have Carl Weathers, is back as Apollo Creed. You have the character of Paulie played by Burt Young. And everybody does a great job again here. It was directed and written by Sylvester Stallone. And the soundtrack, once again, by Bill Conti, again, who does an amazing job with the soundtrack. And I don't know, do I prefer the first movie's soundtrack more or this soundtrack? Because in this one, you have Going the Distance, which is a good piece of music. You have Redemption, you have the Mickey theme. There's a lot of great music here, again, by Bill Conti. So I think, I don't know which soundtrack do I prefer more, the first movie's soundtrack or, this soundtrack. And also, to kind of jump ahead a little bit, to some of the training scenes. You got, of course, the bit where he chases the chickens, chase that chicken, I look like a Kentucky Fried Idiot. And I think between the relationship between Rocky and Mickey here, there's a little bit more going on, more substance, or I don't know what kind of word you want to throw in there. Because Rocky, later on, he wants this fight, but Mickey's like, you'll go blind. He's doing a little test where he's like, hey, watch my finger. He's like, you're blind in one eye. And, before that, Rocky's doing little odd jobs and stuff, trying to have a life and settle down. And, nothing's really working out. Then it gets to a point where he goes back to the gym. Mickey's like, where's your dignity, if I could say the word right. But, and, even before that, he tries doing commercials. We all remember the Beast Aftershave commercial. But, finding out that he has a kid on the way, so that changes things. Adrian wants him to have a normal life. Don't go back to boxing. You have a kid on the way. Think about your kid. And then it gets to a point where Adrian gets sick. And she goes into a coma. And then, having the baby, later on waking up from the coma. And she's like, I want you to do one thing for me, win. Which is a great moment in the film. So I do think there's more going on in terms of story. And to get to this last comment here by J Dog Johnson, he says, I say Rocky 2 because you get more of him and Adrian as a couple. They get married, she's pregnant, she almost died but pulled through. They struggled but ultimately succeeded. I think it's a stronger story in Rocky 2 where the first Rocky was getting by and going the distance, in my opinion. Rocky 2 was a progress of him and Adrian. Great sequel. And I definitely agree with that statement. You know, where in the first movie, it's more of Rocky going the distance. You know, it's a great underdog story. You know, with this movie here, you know, it felt like, you know, you got more of Adrian, like Rocky and Adrian as a couple, going through more struggles. You know, a kid on the way. You know, you got Creed, you know, over here, you know, taunting Rocky, you know, to get back into the ring. You know, Adrian wants him to not fight again, you know, to have a life, to settle down. And you can see the struggles of what they're going through. You know, Rocky trying out different jobs, you know, different odd jobs and stuff. So I definitely agree with that. It's a progress of the story. Now, getting back to some of the training, to me, some of the best training scenes of the franchise here, because you get a little bit of going the distance and gonna fly now. And then you have the scene where he's running with the kids, which I know some people out there don't really care for that, or, you know, may find it corny. I didn't find it corny. I mean, I enjoyed that scene. I still enjoy the scene. Where the kids are running with Rocky up the steps and they get to the top and they celebrate. And I enjoyed that scene. And then when you get to the fight, you know, to me, I think Rocky 2 has the better fight. And this is something like in the first Rocky film, like when I did a review for that, I didn't even talk about the fight that much. And the fight's okay. I think in the first Rocky film, you know, for what the first film was, I think the fight was okay. And I think that here, it's a little bit better because you can hear, you know, the punches a bit better, like, you know, the impact of the hits. I think they did a better job in terms of that. Now, Rocky 3, the fight in Rocky 3 is my favorite of the series. And I'll talk about that more when I talk about Rocky 3. But I did enjoy the fight here. And I think it's a, you know, especially when you talk about that ending, you know, yo, Adrian, I did it. I mean, it's such a great ending. Now it is time for my overall thoughts on Rocky 2. A very worthy and strong sequel. It maintains the heart and soul of Rocky with an amazing soundtrack, once again, and one of the most satisfying endings in cinema ever. To me, the best Rocky film. And out of 5 stars, I'm going to give Rocky 5 stars. So that's it for my review of Rocky 2. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you for Rocky 3.